Good morning, student. 11th Science Chapter 5 Getting Started with Python. First, we can see Introduction to Python. We have written algorithms for different problems in Chapter 4. Let us now move to step further and create programs using any version of Python 3. Python 3 have different versions. But before learning about Python programming language, let us understand what is a programming language and how it works. There is a one statement for Donald Knuth. Computer program is a art because it applies accumulated knowledge to the world. Computer program is a art because it requires skill and ingenuity, and especially because it produces objects of beauty. A programmer who subconsciously views himself as an artist will enjoy what he does and what will do it better. The computer program is an art. An order set of instructions to be executed by a computer to carry out a specific task is called a program. What is program? Definition of program. Order set of instructions to be executed by a computer to carry out a specific task. Any specific task is executed by a order set of instructions is called a program. And the language used to specify this set of instructions to the computer is called a programming language. Which language is used to specify for this set of instructions to the computer is called a programming language. Program means order set of instructions to be executed by a computer to carry out specific task is called a program. And to run a program or to run a set of instructions, you use language. This language is called a programming language. As we know that, computers understand the language of zeros and ones, which is called machine language or low level language. However, it is difficult for humans to write or comprehend instructions using zeros and ones. This led to the advent of high-level programming languages like Python. Python is a high-level programming language. C++, Visual Basic, PHP, Java that are easier to manage by humans but are not directly understood by the computers. A program written in high-level language is called source code. What is source code? A program written in high-level language. A program written in high-level language is called a source code. It's called a source code. Recall from chapter 1 that language translators like compilers. Language translators like compilers. Compiler is a language translator. Interpreters are needed to translate the source code. Are needed to translate the source code into machine language, that is 0 and 1s. Python uses an interpreter. Python uses a interpreter and C++ uses a compiler. Python uses an interpreter to convert its instructions into machine language so that it can be understood by computer. By using Python, and Python uses interpreter to convert instructions into 0 and 1, that is machine language, so that it can be understood by the computer. An interpreter processes the program. An interpreter processes the program statements one by one. What is interpreter? An interpreter processes the program. Interpreter processes the program statements one by one, first translating and then executing. What is interpreter? Interpreter processes the program statements one by one, first translating and then executing. This process continued until and error is encountered or the whole program is executed successfully. This process is continued until an error is encountered or the whole program is executed successfully. In both cases, program execution will stop. If error is occurred, process is stop, or whole program is executed, program execution will stop. On the contrary, compiler translate the entire source. Compiler translate the entire source, but Python translate the line by line source code. Compiler translate the entire source code as a whole into the object code. Compiler translate the entire source code as a whole, all source code into the object code. After scanning the whole program, it generates error messages. But in Python, it translates the line by line source code, and if error is occurred, and it stops. But in C or C++ program, it translates the whole program, and then after scanning the whole program, it generates a error message if any error message is occurred in the program. This is a introduction to Python program. In this, we can see that what is program. Program is a order set of instructions, and Python is a high-level programming language. Program is a set of instructions to be executed by a computer to carry a specific task. What is programming language? To execute a specific task, we have to use a special language, that is a programming language. Machine language is in the form of zeros and ones. Python, C++, PHP, Java are high-level programming language that can manage by humans but not understand by the computer. What is source code? A program written in high-level language is called a source code. And what is translators? Compilers or interpreters are translators that translate the source code into machine language. Python uses interpreter to convert its instructions into machine language so that it can be understood by the interpreter. Process the statements one by one, line by line code, and first translating and then executing. This process continues till error is encountered or the whole program executed successfully. In both cases, program execution will stop. On the contrary, compiler translate the entire source code, all source code first translate into the object code. After scanning the whole program, it generates a error message if any error message is occurred. Thank you.